Our first look at the mid-season update, Season 3 Reloaded, has come today, including with that a trailer, a blog post, and a whole other host of things that we can talk about so that you can know everything you need to about what's coming up later over the course of the next coming days. So today we're going to break down everything, but as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. What are you guys looking forward to the most out of this 80s Action Heroes mid-season event? Are you guys looking forward to anything in particular? Anything that really catches your interest? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts. But hopefully enjoy the video. If you do, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to help us out on that road to 500,000 subscribers, I'd love to have you guys in the community, and we'll keep you up to date with everything you need to know regarding Warzone, Cold War, and anything COD related on a daily basis. But anyways, let's jump right into the content at hand because there is a lot. Firstly, let's start out with the update itself. The update is available actually for PlayStation users right now, if I'm not mistaken, for Cold War, but no preload is available right now on the Warzone side of things just yet. But it's going to be a late night for players that want to end up checking out some of the stuff that maybe goes live a little early, but it's installable for those at 9 p.m. Pacific time, midnight Eastern, and I believe that's 5 a.m. in the UK to where it applies for PlayStation users. And then Modern Warfare and Warzone's application is going to get an update as of tomorrow night, Wednesday into Thursday early morning. So the Cold War sort of preload is continuing on here. All content though will be locked until that Warzone update goes live into the 20th, with the Zombies Easter egg quest being unlocked for an additional 12 hours or so after that, going live at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. UK, but we'll discuss that in just a bit here. As for the content that was previewed, we got, of course, a lot. You can see a lot with what is coming here in this roadmap that was detailed here for us out of the blog post that we ended up seeing, and of course, we got a new trailer coming as well that showcased a little bit of everything on offer, but we'll of course see the new operators of John McClane and Rambo, taking those two franchises of Die Hard and Rambo, putting them together like we've seen, of course, the entire thematic reasoning for the 80s Action Heroes event, but we'll also see a bunch more. And the one thing that really caught my interest here when I learned about this was that there's new points of interest coming to Verdansk. Now, these aren't permanent, but they'll be roughly there for the remainder of Season 3. And we didn't know about these things, whereas the other, we kind of knew from the Season 3 launch roadmap and some things detailed within the launch blog as well, but this stuff was pretty new and not detailed to us up until, well, now. What was detailed was 3 main points of interest that we'll end up seeing here across Verdansk as sort of limited time points of interest, but Nakatomi Plaza is going to be replacing a skyscraper in Verdansk, which is going to be really cool, I think. Each of these new locations will end up having LTMs or event quests that you can take part in, but we got some details here out of a briefing that myself and a couple other creators ended up having about this. We learned that there's going to be, at least in the Nakatomi Plaza skyscraper, missions like disarming C4 on the tower rooftop, or to interrupt an arms deal, or cracking Nakatomi Plaza's vault. So a lot of cool things here that will then reward you in-game in terms of maybe currency and some items there as well, but also things that will allow you to earn exclusive items for your account. They didn't detail what, but my guess is some smaller things like a calling card, or maybe if you do all of them, maybe even a blueprint. One cool thing though that was mentioned is there's actually going to be NPCs within Warzone for the first time ever. Or I guess I really shouldn't say ever, because Woods was an NPC during the Know Your History event, but we're going to be seeing NPCs here for the second time. These are going to be who you're able to interact with to start these quests and these little side missions within either BR or Plunder, and you'll be able to activate those through them. So pretty cool with that, but then we also end up seeing we'll have another point of interest called the survival camps, in which there are existing camps around Verdansk, to which that's going to be transformed a little bit here, in which you can collect dog tags, which is a nod to First Blood Part 2, and that's going to be something that we'll learn about here in just a few, but just know that dog tags will be important. We're also going to see a CIA outpost, in which this is going to be a hangar in the northwest sector of the map, converted from a hangar into an outpost with a few things to find as well. Of course, each of these again coming with those sort of quest lines you can play around with and earn some new items with. But outside of that, we also learned in Warzone, we're going to see some new LTMs. The one that's really interesting here, and that you end up definitely needing those dog tags for, is the one called Power Grab. This is going to be like Mini Royale with a smaller zone and 5 stages, so not a full 7 or 8 like that, but there's also no gulag in this as opposed to where there is in Mini Royale. So you either need to buy back teammates from a buy station that have died, or earn the respawns by collecting dog tags. This one's kind of like a BR kill confirmed hybrid, but you can end up getting dog tags via contract rewards and sometimes in regular chest spawns. But each of these dog tags compound on top of each other so that you end up having different reward ladders. So you can end up getting things like the UAV, you can end up getting a respawn token, a durable gas mask, even specialist bonus. Now, these are all dependent upon how many dog tags you have collected, so bear that in mind. We're also going to see that there are new streaks and weapons coming to Warzone as well. The ballistic knife is finally being added into Warzone. That was available earlier in the season, but it was the first and only weapon we've seen that had a delayed rollout when it comes to Warzone. So that should be available for players to mess around with as well. And the combat bow is going to be coming to Warzone also. So that'll be really interesting to see if that's a one-shot, I would imagine, but it's going to take some precision, so we'll see how that all works out. Jumping over to the Black Ops Cold War side of things, though, we'll of course end up seeing Standoff and Duga, the brand new maps coming within Season 3's Reloaded update in this 80s Action Heroes event, in which Standoff, again, is just that classic 6v6 remastered. If you've played it in any of the introductions in the past in the Black Ops series, you'll know exactly what to expect here. An absolute classic that I'm excited to play around with once again here. Kind of relive my glory days, perhaps. Black Ops 2, best COD in my opinion, so happy to experience that again. But then we also see Duga, which is going to be your multi-team map. So that being your fire team experience, and if they bring back things like multi-team hardpoints, you'll be able to play around that as well. But we also see then introduced in terms of weaponry, the baseball bat is going to be the new melee weapon at launch, coming available in the shop bundle, but also with an organic unlock challenge as well. So you don't need to buy into that. Later on in the season, though, we're going to be seeing that AMP-63, the final weapon in the Season 3 offerings, that being an automatic pistol. I'd imagine that comes in about 2 weeks' time here. So that midway point between the mid-season update and the end of the season as well. That 2-week out mark from Season 4. So that's my guess, but we'll also end up seeing new modes introduced here across Black Ops Cold War. The first one being Die Hardpoint. This is going to be coming at launch, which this is essentially cranked, but paused while on the objective. You're going to have 30 seconds to explode like you do in cranked, but if you jump on the hill and play the objective, it pauses that. Kills will add 15 seconds to your timer, up to a total of 30 seconds altogether. Then also, when you chain kills together, you do get bonuses here that help you with mobility and other attributes, such things as weapon handling, ADS speed, slide speed, and even a larger explosion upon death, because let's be real, you're never going to go that whole game without having one cranked fail. So that'll be something that will be on top of your already increased boosted speed while you're cranked. So definitely some cool variations here to cranked, and of course adding in hardpoint as well. I'm interested to see how that one plays out. We'll also see in week 2 Rambo's gun game, so not this week but the next week after that, so Thursday the 27th we'll see this introduced. But this is going to be including things like the death machine, war machine, combat bow, RPG, and presumably other high firepower weapons that we'll see throughout Cold War. Interested to see how that one works out as well. And later on down the line, I would imagine here, the Action Hero Mosh Pit, which is going to be both of these included into one mosh pit, so you can go back and forth, but that'll be introduced as well. The big one, though, that I'm very interested in playing here is also going to be at launch, that being multi-team elimination. This is where you have to, on fire team maps, avoid the expanding radiation zones. You have no loadouts, so you need to scavenge your weapons and everything like that. Limited respawns and an exfil chopper in the final zone that you can end up winning if you end up going on to. But this is essentially that Treyarch BR for Cold War and played on fire team maps. So we don't have one large map like we did within Black Ops 4 for Blackout and like what we see with Verdansk in Modern Warfare 2019. But instead, this is going to be played on a smaller scale, but kind of like a mini royale in terms of player count. It's 10 teams of 4, but it is going to be probably the closest we get to another Treyarch battle royale. So very curious to see, one, if this stays around longer than just an LTM week or two, and two, how this plays and how people receive it, because this is going to be really interesting to see, I think, the dichotomy of a battle royale within COD. We have Warzone, but also Cold War's potential iteration of it. So that'll be interesting to see. That's going to be coming at launch. Jumping over to the zombie side to close things out, the Outbreak Easter egg was detailed as coming and being able to be started at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday. So 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. UK. If you're an Easter egg hunter, be on the lookout because you're definitely going to want to be on for this one. We're also going to see the Orda World event, which is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. If you recognize Orda from Firebase Z, that should be interesting. That was a heck of a boss fight at what, round 30 or 31? So I'll be interested to see how that plays out within Outbreak, an open world version of that. So there's also going to be a new version of Cranked for zombies coming. Hopefully this one is something that players can enjoy a little bit more. I know that watching it from afar, it was kind of buggy and seemed to have a lack of time between kills, especially on round changeovers. So it wasn't something that many people loved, but was still enjoyable to probably plenty. But we'll be seeing a new version or variation here of this, hopefully fixed out in that regard. We'll also end up seeing custom weapon support so that your custom blueprints can come over as well, and then new mystery box weapons on top of some other smaller things. But that's essentially the mid-season update, the Season 3 Reloaded update here, and the 80s Action Heroes event coming to Warzone and Cold War. So that's where we're going to wrap it up. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of this? Are you looking forward to anything in particular? John McClane, Rambo, the new points of interest within Verdansk and Warzone, the new Black Ops Cold War content, whatever it may be, feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Cold War, and anything COD related, especially as we round into the mid-season event here. Make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss any of it. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get content on YouTube. Probably live on both those. So if you guys want to start a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.